So I'm here with Mike McAdams from Team 4682. He is the coding mentor for our team, and I'm here to interview him. So first off, what's your background and what did you major in?
So in college, undergrad, I majored in actually civil engineering, and then I went to grad school and I did petroleum environmental engineering, and I did all like subsurface flow modeling, and that's kind of the beginning of my computer, slide into computers. So yeah, Fortran modeling, C, these kind of things. But that was a long time ago.
And was that your first engineering job?
So my first engineering job would have been between, well, like kind of in the summers during undergrad. I worked at a like hazardous waste site, and we did work in a lab to kind of like process samples for different chemicals. But yeah, my first job after school was at an air consulting company, and we did just air dispersion modeling and database management software. Yeah, so yeah.
And your current job?
My current job, I work at Microsoft. I've worked there for nearly 20 years, and I work. Are we gonna ask? Yeah. Maybe, what do I do at my current job?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So I work in the identity team. We work on Azure Active Directory. It's now called Entra, and essentially making sure like folks that do authentication are secured, and so we're the kind of the behind the scenes authentication for applications in kind of more of a modern platform, cloud-based platform.
And what does a typical day on the job look like for you?
So for me, I'm what's called an individual contributor. So I pretty much do a few things. Coding, we write a lot of stuff in C#, but not everything's there. There's a bunch of scripting languages. We do Scala and Java and various languages. And then I do code reviews for other folks on the team, a bunch of design stuff, like what the next new feature is going to look like, how we're going to build it. Yeah, I would say that's a lot of it. Just a lot of email and meetings too. But, it's all kind of related to pushing software out the door. So.
Do you use your major much in your current job?
My major from undergrad, no, not really. I was mostly I took a bunch of computer science type classes at night after grad school, and I do use that a whole lot more. Like it was just all like Java and these kind of things. So.
What's your favorite part about your job?
I think the design part is one of the things I like. In computers, there's many different ways you can solve a problem, meaning in terms of the code that you write, and it's kind of your own to go and build it, and so there's some autonomy there that I like. And the design part is you get more of that autonomy when you get to do the design yourself as well. So I'd say those are some of the things that I like about it. Yeah.
And what surprised you in this field of work?
Surprise. So I would say, as a new engineer coming out of undergrad or grad school, I kind of gotten used to professors and teachers asking a question, and you're providing an answer, and the answer being yes or no, meaning it's right or it's wrong. And when you get out, at least when I got out in the work world, your manager would give you a problem, and they could probably go and do that problem, but they didn't really know what the outcome of the question was. And even in some cases nowadays, it's more like, hey, here's a kind of opaque customer issue. let's figure out how we're going to go and solve it and go and create a solution. And so meaning, I think to bring it back is that the surprise was that your management, the people that you work with don't really know the outcome of the thing that you're going to go and build beforehand. They can kind of have a vision of what they want to see, but it's kind of yours to go and build it. And I would say that's different, meaning it's on you.
And so what kind of traits does someone need to succeed in your field?
I think one of the good traits to have is just kind of that perseverance, that ability to come to a problem and continue to chip away at it, continue to improve every day, and just continue to kind of like do the work. So I mean, I like that. Obviously, you got to come with some of the background, like being able to code in a language. But I think the willingness to do it is more so than the actual previous skill at it. Meaning, like, if you're really motivated to go and get something done, I think that's one of the great things about engineering. I think about being passionate about engineering, wanting to solve problems, that exciting you will very much motivate you to be able to go and to get it done too. So
yeah, and kind of leading into this, when choosing new people to hire, are there any like experiences or things you look for?
Yes, we do. At Microsoft, we do look for past demonstrated software or problem solving. But it's not. It's more. I think it's a lot about, are you the right fit for the job, in the sense that, are you going to contribute? I mean, are you going to come in and fit with the team? Like, is your personality, your excitement, your passion, is that your passion? The thing that we're working on, is that, can we see that passion in you? So that's one big thing. And yeah, I mean, it's great to have tons of experience or lots of time coding, but I would say that it's kind of at a base level. It's not required to be a master coder. So.
And if you're like just coming out of college and you like join Microsoft, what would like a typical day look like for like entry-level positions?
Yeah, entry-level positions, generally what would happen on an average day, you'd probably be working on chunks of work that are around about a week's worth of work. And maybe a little bit more, but usually those chunks of work will be fairly well defined. And so, we have like a tracking system that describes that new feature or that next new little widget you're supposed to add to a UX, or changes in an API. So yeah, or a bug fix or something like that. And so those will be kind of assigned to you, and you kind of go and research them a little bit, figure out what the issue is, figure out a solution, code it up, and then you kind of go through the code review. And obviously there's tests in there and all that stuff that you build. And so yeah, I would say, yeah, it's a 1 to 2 week thing for a task. I would say that's about the size of work. And then as you progress, a year or two in, you take over things that might take you a month or more. So a lot of times things at Microsoft, it's not like the coding is a month-long coding thing. It's like you might code it for 20% of the time, but then there's kind of approvals, kind of to get to that coding stage, and then after the fact, you've got to get people to agree that code's going to work long term. And so it's like you do fits and spurts of work on that little area, then you do a block of work, and then it kind of peters out as it checks in and deploys and all these kind of things.
All right. And what things that did you do in college that you loved, or things you wish you had done?
Things I wish I had done more in college. I definitely, I mean, since I went kind of computer science more after college, yeah, I probably would have changed my major. Yeah, I mean, I definitely liked the things that I did in grad school, so I don't know if I'd want to change all that, but yeah, undergrad, maybe I would have done electrical engineering or I mean, I don't really know if computer science was a major when I don't know, they might have had like computer engineering, maybe, but it would have been more electrical at that point, and yeah, I don't know, I got into coding later on in life, and I think that's probably the thing that I would change more is my major.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And in your entire life, what's been your favorite moment with STEM?
My favorite moment with STEM. I don't know. I
Like
enjoy
one specific time, like any project you worked on, or any like moment, any people.
Yeah, I mean, I can think of a couple things. I absolutely enjoy FIRST. It's a lot of fun. I've learned a lot. I mean, honestly, I've learned a lot by, learning like, how does code actually interface with, real-time system like a motor or these kind of things. So I mean, I think that's one aspect of STEM is that there's always more to learn. There's always new things to you that you can become interested in that you didn't even know that you were interested in. So I'd say that's one big thing. I mean, I can think of some projects that I felt like good on.
What's one of them?
Yeah, so I worked back in, so it was 2017, 2018. I worked on a project which was for this thing called GDPR. It's essentially a privacy law that came in from the European Union, and Microsoft put a big effort together to try to comply to that. And since then, a bunch of other jurisdictions like California and Brazil and a bunch of countries are kind of adopting these privacy standards. And so, yeah, we worked a bunch on kind of like making it so that, consumers, users, individual people like you and me have their data that, Microsoft maintains about them. They have rights to that data. And, Microsoft put a fair bit of effort into figuring out how it is that we can fulfill those data rights. And so when your company has the right to go and clean it up, delete it, or know what's there, all that kind of stuff. So.
And there are any final bits of advice you had for a young person pursuing a STEM career?
I would say, I think there's a hurdle. There's this hurdle of getting through the math, and especially the math, I would say. And if you're interested in science, figure out a way to gut through the math and pursue your science, like your science interests. And if you love the math, I think that's even better. I mean, I think you'll go far. Yeah, but I'd say just don't be discouraged by the math or maybe like a physics class if you feel like that's hard, but yet you still are interested in science or engineering type of efforts. Yeah, you're not going to be doing calculus. You're not necessarily going to be doing. I mean, some people do calculus in their engineering job, but a lot of times folks don't have to do calculus every day in and day out after they've graduated. So if that's not your thing, but you're still interested in other types of STEM, don't let the math scare you away. Just work hard to get through it, and I think you'll enjoy it. There's lots of STEM activities to do, so lots of different jobs.
All right. Well, thank you for your time.
Yep, absolutely.